Hey everyone, it's good to finally be back doing a video after so long. Due to life taking over with school and whatnot, I wasn't exactly able to continue doing Let's Plays. But now, I have some free time and I said to myself, you know what the heck. Now, I know I left off on Pulse Man with you guys, but I won't continue that game for now. Instead, I'd like to do another game, one that's warmed up to me a bit lately, and that game is Castlevania. In Japan, it was known as Akumajo Dracula, and it literally translates into Devil's Castle Dracula. The game was released in 1986 and takes place in 1691. You play as Simon Belmont, who comes from a family of vampire hunters destined to rid the world of Dracula every 100 years or so. Of course, that's if some crazy cult isn't apparently trying to bring him back from the dead. So, the Belmonts use a weapon known as the Vampire Killer, and even that has its own backstory. But I won't get into that for now, because that would take forever. Instead, I'll just dive into this game, one of the hardest Nintendo games of its era. So ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Let's Play Castlevania. Alright, so here we have the title screen, ready to do this. As you can see, the HUD's pretty standard: score, player and enemy health, time, stage, and you see hearts up there. Those hearts are used for sub-weapons you'll see later on. This right here is the first upgrade to Simon's Whip. If you notice, it's already slightly changed. And while I'm mentioning some gameplay stuff, I should probably mention when Simon jumps, he can't really change directions. If I jump this way, I can't all of a sudden turn around like most platformers like Mario could. So, here's the second upgrade. Now my whip's fully upgraded. The game's pretty much setting me up for Castlevania, which is literally the name of this castle. So here we go. So you make it into the first room here. The first thing you get bombarded with are zombies and ghouls. They'll just keep coming at you, and oh god, that's something that you guys are going to see happen a lot. And that pushback that you get from when you're hit by enemies is devastating, and you're probably going to see me die a lot because of it. Ooh, that was close. Another thing about Castlevania, whipping the candles usually will give you hearts, if not other sub-weapons. Right now I do have a sub-weapon on me. It is the dagger, or the knife. It's a pretty standard projectile weapon. You just shoot straight outwards. I don't tend to use it, mostly because the whip does a pretty good job of hitting stuff that's already far away. And there are much better weapons in my opinion, such as the axe, which you'll see later on. I'm actually going to need it in order to beat this boss. That item wasn't a sub-weapon, it just happens to clear out everything on the screen, so it's pretty nifty. Sometimes it falls out randomly, sometimes you're lucky enough to get it. Open the walls right here, as you can see, produced me getting health items. And health items are few and far between. Enemies do not drop health in this game. And obviously, even though I'm picking up a ton of hearts, that does absolutely nothing for my health. That was a sub-weapon that just fell into the water. That was the stopwatch. It would have allowed me to essentially stop time for, I think it's about 2-3 seconds. But for what I'm doing right now, it would be completely and totally useless. Oh god! The zombies just come out from anywhere. This is probably one of the only times you'll see an enemy come out from a random area. The good thing is, even though some of the stuff's pretty randomized, you can still have a good feel for it, and you can still predict and plan for it. Which is another thing I should mention about this game, after I probably take out this boss. That item that I picked up is not a sub-weapon, but it does support sub-weapons in that, as you can see, as you can see, it allows me to spam the sub-weapon twice. So it's very useful. And with collecting that red orb that serves no other purpose other than to say that you finished the level, it also heals me up, and like I said, it'll take me into the next level now. Your score's tallied up. After all, this is an NES game back when you were trying to shoot for high scores whenever you played these games, so you can brag about it. So here we have the next part of the castle. And if you just saw, by picking up a different sub-weapon, I lost the double shot, that little upgrade I had gotten. So now I can't spam the cross, I can only shoot one at a time. Adding more to the Nintendo hard of this game. And you have to be careful, because sometimes you'll whip something and you'll pick up a sub-weapon that you absolutely do not want. Right now the cross isn't so bad, it's just kind of like a boomerang, if you saw that. So, oh boy, that could have been disastrous. Here, those things directly in front of me. That, I paused the game so I could show you. That is a Medusa head. That thing has given me so much hell in this game. And in most other Castlevanias, it just happened to show up at the most annoying times. Got this knight here. Can't get me. Oh, yes you can. Didn't expect him to turn around so quickly. Alright, so here's a perfect example of why Medusa heads are pretty bad. Oh, duh. They come in from random directions. Well, really, they come in from the direction that Simon is going to be facing. In this situation, if I had been a little more reckless, I probably would have fallen down there. But granted that I've already played through this game at least once, I already have a feel for where all the traps are. Not to say that it's going to help me very much, but oh boy, that was close. In Castlevania, Castlevania is definitely not a game you can ramble through. Doing that will get your balls kicked in. This game is definitely a game of stopping, assessing the situation. Is it a good idea to proceed, or how should I proceed? Like here, you can't ramble through this section, you'll die. So you have to wait for the right opportunities and observe the way the environment operates. I know better than to whip these candles anymore, because those hearts and stuff will land right where I don't need it to land. And come on, item. Yes. They will land right underneath that, and that's an instant kill. So I don't want to instantaneously die, so I'm going to disregard them. Also, if you hadn't noticed, Simon's whip can also destroy projectiles and ghost. Go back up. Come here, heart. Another Medusa head. Oh yay. Doesn't matter, they're gonna keep coming right back. Oh god. It's a good thing I picked up the stopwatch. This is probably the only boss that is actually affected by the stopwatch. And Medusa head. Giant Medusa. Freeze time. I know it's kinda lame, but it's really difficult to beat this boss in any other fashion. So with that, I've made it through the first two levels pretty well intact. You're probably wondering to yourself, but I thought you said this game would be difficult. Trust me. The knight is still young, and Castlevania still has plenty of tricks up its sleeve for me. But for now, I'm going to pause, and I will leave it off here for now, and I hope you guys will stay tuned for part 2, which will be coming up as soon as I can get it. So, let me know what your thoughts are, leave a comment down below, and I hope you enjoy my Let's Play of Castlevania.